welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to bring you guys another video. Thank you so much to the new subscribers. Welcome to the superstar world. If it's your first time here, hope you subscribed. I hope that you are liking the videos, you're sharing with your friends and your family, and I hope you also follow me on the gram as well. If you're not following me on Instagram, I do not know why, so head over to Instagram and follow me at @ROSuperstar. Today I wanted to bring you guys another video following on from my PEBC video, talking all about the OSCEs. So today is September the 23rd, 2020, and I know that a lot of people are preparing for the OSCE exam in November. Really hoping that COVID things kind of like start to die down before then, so that people who are coming from other countries are able to come into Canada and actually do those OSCEs. So a lot of you guys have sent me messages, and there's so many backlogged videos that I have to do, but I thought that the OSCE one was the most appropriate for this season and this time, and also to just help people who might be preparing for even the OSCEs next summer, help you guys prepare a little bit better. So I just wanted to kind of dive in and let you know how I prepared for the PEBC OSCEs. Now the OSCE is basically the second part of the qualifying examination. So there's two parts, there's the MCQ and the OSCE. You have to pass both parts in order for you to qualify and get onto a professional registration in any province in Canada. The OSCE is essentially almost like I think it's about 5 hours long. From the time you enter to the time you exit, in total it's about 5 hours long. So it is quite a long, full, packed day, and it can be quite a stressful day as well. So you have to make sure that you are well prepared, well equipped and knowledgeable enough to pass it. Now for most people, if you went to pharmacy school in England, or I think in Europe in general, or even in North America, I'm sure that you have done some form of OSCE preparation whilst you're at university. So for me, I went to the University of Sunderland, whoop, whoop, and at our university we basically done an OSCE through our years. So I think we had a dispensing exam in year 2, and basically the dispensing exam is not an OSCE, but it's kind of similar to what an OSCE is. So essentially you are checking prescriptions as you would as a pharmacist, and that's what the PEBC OSCEs are really checking for. They're checking that you know how to practice effectively, safely, efficiently as a pharmacist, and just checking that you have the clinical knowledge, you have the skills, you have the understanding to be able to carry out the day-to-day role as a pharmacist. So essentially you would have done it at some point in your degree. We also done it in our 4th year, so our final year of pharmacy school in England. It's also a necessity and a requirement before you can actually pass your degree. So the first things that's obviously really important, and you've probably already done this when you were preparing for your MCQ, is making sure that you have the knowledge, making sure that you know what you're talking about when you walk into that exam. Okay, so essentially it's very vital for you to use the CTC, which is the therapeutic choices, but also use the CTMA, so basically the book for the minor ailments, because you might get a lot of people coming in, you know, in your OSCE station with minor conditions that you have to recognize, and you will have to kind of know what to do, whether it's to refer, to treat, and so on and so forth. So those two books I would highly recommend. Second thing I would say is also going onto the PEBC website. PEBC website has so many different videos that can help with your OSCE. The reason why I recommend these videos is essentially because in those videos you hear how the student responds to the question asked by the patient or by the doctor, and that helps you as a trainee to know exactly how you are to respond in the OSCE. I think for me, coming from England, I kind of had this idea that I knew how to respond to an OSCE question. If a patient came in with threadworms, for example, or pinworms, whatever they call them here, I knew exactly how I should respond. However, it's quite different with how the PEBC want you to reply. There's certain things that you have to ask, making sure that you're following up with the patient. So if someone comes in and they say, oh, maybe they've got, I don't know, they've got pink eye or something like that, and you sell them something for pink eye, making sure that you say to them, okay, can I call you tomorrow just to check that everything's okay and it hasn't worsened. So things like that. They want to see that you care, that you're empathetic, that you know exactly what to do in terms of whether you need to refer or sell. Another thing I wanted to point out is it's so important to not go into the exam thinking that you have to know everything You don't have to know everything, because no pharmacist actually knows everything. Even today, there are some things that I don't know, and I've been practicing for 6 years. So essentially, sometimes you might not know the full answer or the complete answer. Obviously, if it's something dangerous, something that you need to refer, it's very vital, very important for you to refer accordingly, for you to treat accordingly. However, what the PEBC want to see, if you don't know the answer to something, you don't say, I don't know. What you talking about, doctor? I don't know what you're talking about, patient. They want to see that you are able to work around that. So essentially, do you know what? I'm going to take down your details and I'm going to give you a call back. Let me give you a call. Or why don't you give me 10 minutes? Just take a seat. I'm going to just have a look, double check, and then I'll get back to you on that. I think that's so important. Sometimes as students and as pharmacists even, we like to jump into the deep end and essentially try to answer the questions as ASAP, but it's important to know that they're not expecting you to know every single thing. They do give you reference guides. So some of the stations will have a printout, will have some form of reference that you can basically say to the patient or the doctor, just give me a few moments, let me have a look through and I'll get back to you. It's very important to know that. So make sure that you read, as I said, go to the PEBC website and read all the information they've given you on the OSCE, because they do tell you the kind of things that they're going to give you, so that when you go there, you don't just go in and try to answer it from your head when you actually have the answer in front of you. That's very, very key. The third thing I would recommend is going to YouTube. Go to YouTube and watch videos like mine. But there are also loads of different practice videos as well. So I just typed in PEBC OSCE and loads of different kind of practice videos, scenarios came up from so many different pharmacy organizations that have put these videos together for students. I think it's really important for you to go and just look at how they're responding to the questions and the kind of questions they're asking and how you're expected to reply, and so on and so forth. One key thing to note is that in the PEBC OSCE, they can ask you anything, practically anything. So you have to kind of be prepared to act as you would do in practice. So anything, I can't even, because we have to sign a non-disclosure when we do the PEBC exams, I can't give you examples as to what I got in my exam, but essentially it's important to know that you can go into that exam and anything could be asked of you within your scope of practice. So that's why it's so vital and important to use as many references and as many resources as possible. So making sure you're checking the PEBC website, use YouTube, as I said, make sure you use the reference guides and the books that are recommended in the PEBC list. Another thing that you might want to do, there are some pharmacy bodies who do provide support and do practice OSCEs in different provinces across Canada. So I know there are quite a few in Ontario that put on practice OSCEs for you, which you can pay for and to be a part of. Another option is to get people around you to help you. So me as an individual, I had a friend who was doing the exam around the same time, and we just basically used to get on to a Zoom call or FaceTime, whatever, and we would just spent hours just practicing, asking each other questions. She would be the patient, I'd be the doctor, I'd be the pharmacist, she'd be the pharmacist, and we took turns at playing these roles and just practicing to help build our confidence. I think this is so vital and so important, being able to have people around you. And even if you don't have someone who's writing the exam, maybe family members. I had friends who were pharmacists in England as well, and I would just get them to just call me and we would just go through different scenarios together. My brother, who's in med school, he was asking me questions.
So, okay, can I just ask a few questions about your son?
Yeah, that's
fine. So you say
yeah.
that your son is 4 years old?
Yeah, he's 4 years old.
4 years old, okay. Is he on any medication at all?
Oh, nothing. He's been completely healthy since birth.
This is so vital and so important, and I cannot stress how important it is to practice. Make sure you get as much practice as you possibly can. This is so important and so vital. On the day of the exam, as I said, it takes about 5 hours from the moment you get in to the moment you get out. Now, the reason why it takes so long is because there are 20 stations, from what I believe. Last year I done it and there were 20 stations. Those stations also include rest stations, so you will have stations where you can rest. I can't remember how long each station is. You will have to have a look on the PEBC website to double check. They do give you snacks like juice and biscuits or something, I don't know, I can't remember. They give you snacks at the rest stations. You're not allowed to talk to anybody in that time from the moment you walk in to the moment you walk out. You have to come with a white coat on the day, so you have to come prepared as if you are working a shift as a pharmacist. It's quite a long time, it's a long day, so make sure you get enough rest the night before. This is so important. Don't be doing studying until 12 if your exam is at 9 in the morning. Like, what is that? That's not acceptable. You're not going to function properly if you are tired and stressed. There's no point doing revision at the door of the OSCE. Everything you need to know, sis, you need to know the day before, at least the afternoon of the exam. I would recommend having a chilled evening, taking your time to just relax, chillax, do whatever it is you need to do all your studying and get done by the evening time, so you have time to kind of mentally relax. I'd also recommend, again, just not talking about the OSCE once you leave. As tempting as it is, because I know that it's very tempting to leave the exam and be like, what did you put for this, what did you put for that? I think it's so important to not do that. Essentially, just because person A put this and person B put that does not mean that you're going to fail or they're going to pass or whatever. Essentially, it's very important to go in, give it your 100% best, honestly, give it your best, give it your all, and leave and just be done. Be done with it. Close the chapter. It's done, okay? And just wait for the results. Again, these OSCEs are not a walk in the park. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, and I'm someone who has practiced for years, and it's quite a challenging exam, mentally, emotionally as well. They're very expensive, so there's a lot of things to consider, but it's important to remind yourself why you're doing this. Also remind yourself that you've come this far, you've been able to pass all those other exams to get to this point, so you are more than able and capable to do these exams. Make sure you give it your best. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I do have a coaching program on for pharmacists who are looking to relocate internationally. Please send me an email, ora.supasta@gmail.com. DM me on Instagram if you have questions. I am going to put a Q&A video together as well, just to answer all the questions I have been asked, and hopefully I can support you through your journey. All the best if you're doing your exam in November, and if you are doing it in spring next year, study hard, practice hard, and pass those exams. Bye.